Okay, so now I'm going to pass over to the wonderful Howard Berg. As I said, he's been in the Guinness World Record books for speed reading. And he's holding a book there, and it looks like it's 1990. So he'll tell us for sure how long he's been there. But that is just a small piece of what talent and ideas and wisdom that this man can share. So buckle up. We've got a very busy next 20 minutes. Make sure you've got your notebooks handy, because there's going to be an awful lot of gems coming right at you. Over to you, Howard.
Thank you. Okay, just started my timer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me get to the beginning. Hi, I'm Howard Berg. I'm considered the world's fastest reader. That was me on Cavuto reading the healthcare bill. It was 1,500 pages, and I read it in 50 minutes. And then I did a full analysis, and I do read at that speed. Okay. How did it start? It started in Brooklyn. I grew up in the projects of Brooklyn. It wasn't a great place to grow up. Lots of gangs. It was West Side Story without the music and dancing. I met Bernardo. He had a knife and he wasn't smiling. But I found the safest place in my neighborhood was the library. Gang kids would rather be dead than caught in a library. Have you ever been in a bookstore or library and you were accosted by a lot of gang kids? Never happened. So I had college reading when I was 11, and I went to the State University of New York, Binghamton, when I was 17 to major in biology. In the second half of my junior year, I got interested in how the brain works and learning. So I told the dean I also want to major in psychology. And he said, well, you haven't had any psych courses. You only have 1 year left. You'll have to do a 4-year program in 1 year and finish the bio program. You'll need 6 science classes, 2 4-hour labs. Lab reports took 16 hours on a slide rule. And I had 3 jobs. And he said, you're not smart enough. And that's when I realized they never teach learning in school or at work. They tell you what to learn, why to learn, and what will happen when you don't learn, but not how learning actually takes place. I learned how to learn. I got up to 80 pages a minute. I did the psych program in 1 year. I took the graduate record exam in biology, and I took it in biology, and I read 48 books in 3 nights, like biochemistry, cell physiology, genetics, plant systematics, fairly complex material. I got 3 questions wrong, so I got an 800. I was in the 99th percentile in the world, and I wondered if it was me or the program that I was using. So I started a school. I taught kids as young as 11 that were in college getting A's, and then using AP tests in as little as a week, and writing 28-page MLA-cited reports at the graduate school level at 11 years old. So I found a way to teach this and not just do it. We did a program with Nightingale Conan. It made $65 million. Unfortunately, I didn't get the $65 million. I was the author. I got a royalty, but it was nothing like $65 million, which would have been much nicer. Fortunately, if I had won it, I don't think I'd be here today. I'd be on my private island. We double-blind tested it, and everyone in the group doubled or quadrupled their learning rate with excellent comprehension using the Nelson-Denny. Been on about 3,000 shows. I helped launch Comedy Central with Dennis Leary, and I was Jon Stewart's first guest. And that was me with Justin Timberlake and Amy Sedaris and Peyton Manning for the Sony e-reader, and again, reading on Cavuto. So that's enough about me. I really would like to spend my time on you and how to learn and use information faster. So first, the problem I'm looking at is information overload. More is printed each week than all human history through the year 1800. That's a fact. Every 6 months, information doubles. The average reading speed is around 200 words per minute. Far too slow to stay abreast of what you need to know. And all that is now accessible online, so you're literally drowning in data, and many of you are acutely aware of how you're struggling just to stay current in one area, let alone get ahead in several. So how can we read faster? When this is over in about 2 hours, pick a book you've read, preferably a nonfiction book, So the only thing that can confuse you is your speed and not the content of the book. That's very important. So if you read it now, you'd have no confusion. And read in the first chapter with a timer. You can use your smartphone or your watch or even an egg timer and figure out, set it for a minute, read for 1 minute normal, doing nothing unusual. See how far you get. And then when the bell rings, take a pencil, mark off where you finished. So you have an assessment of your current reading rate. Now go to the second chapter, and here's the magic. Take your hand and go across one line at a time, your eyes following your hand as quickly as you could comprehend. So as long as you know what you're reading, go faster and faster and faster till you don't. And that's when you went too fast. And how do you know it's too fast? So you already understand the book. And the fact that you don't know what you're reading means it's too fast. And slow down to the top speed at which you can comprehend, using your hand to pace your eye, and read across and not down the middle for 5 minutes. When you're done, go back to the first chapter where you assessed your current reading speed and do it for a minute again, but this time use your hand, going as quickly as you can comprehend. And you'll go 20 to 40% further than the mark that you put during that first minute. This is the first step in learning to read quicker. It's not all the steps, but it's a good first step, and it's an easy one for you to do at the end, and you will see a dramatic increase, and it won't compromise your comprehension. That's one of my students. He looks like a little boy. He's graduating university at 16 with all A's. He had a 4.0, and he majored in economics, which isn't an easy major. He went to OU at 18 to get a master's degree in math, and they paid him $27,000 to go to graduate school and teach math to undergraduates, and gave him free room, board, and tuition. He graduated at 19 with a 3.97 GPA, all A's, and 1B. He was very upset. He said, "What do I tell my mom? I never got a B before." I said, "Stephen, you got out of college at 16, all A's. You got a master's in math at 19, all A's, 1B. I think she's going to keep you." There was a happy ending. She did keep him, but she made him promise never to do that again. And last I heard, he's a professor at Yale. So he finished at 16, all A's, economics degree, master's degree at 19 in math. That's not easy to do. Now, this is the most important skill of all, and it's called emotional intelligence. I trained the U.S. Special Forces at Fort Bragg on this, and also the Royal Thai Army in Bangkok. They're very well trained, but often they're awake for several days with no sleep. They have to remember their training or they could get killed. You have a bad day, you work late. They have a bad day, they die. So emotional intelligence is very important. How do you stay alert for 4 days and remember what you were taught? So I'm going to teach you the system that I taught them. To do this, you should stand. I can't stand. You'll just see my navel and my sweatpants. So we're going to do a brain massage. You know, the left side of the brain controls the right controls the left. I want you to take your left. Do this. You won't learn by watching. You only learn by doing. Doing is where the learning takes place. Take your left hand, touch your right shoulder. Take your right hand, touch your left shoulder. Alternate. So it's like a Macarena, but without the music. It's also a brain massage. Now we're going to do the same thing. Left hand, right knee, right hand, left knee. And you'll see you have to think a little, because both sides of your brain are engaged when you're standing. And put your thumb in your hand like I am and squeeze it and raise it up and go like this. I feel great. Yes. And do it like you mean it. Don't go, I feel great, because that's how you'll feel later. I feel great. Yes. Enthusiasm. Feel great. We're going to do 3 sets of these. Do them at my speed, starting slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. This time a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. This time as fast as you can go and get away from the computer so you don't bash your knees. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Smile. Feel great. Sit down. Do you know what happens when you do this 3 times? Nothing. Now, you probably would like something, so let me show you how that works. Remember Pavlov? He rang a bell. I was the Rotary president. That's our Rotary bell. Rang a bell, he fed a dog. He rang a bell, he fed a dog. He rang a bell, the dog drooled. You don't want to drool. You do want to feel great. You don't want to be in the middle of a busy business meeting or in a school and start tapping your shoulders. They'll think something is very wrong. The latest studies show habits take 90 days, not 30 days. So if you do this every day, slow, medium, fast, I feel great, yes. Now you're in an important meeting or you're in patrol as a special forces soldier. You grab your thumb and you say to yourself, I feel great, yes. And what you've done is you've anchored the state, just as the bell anchored the state in the dogs, and you become alert, just like you just did, because you literally stimulated your left brain, your right brain, and then both at the same time. So you can create a state, you can anchor the state, and then you can trigger the state when you actually need to use it. And that's emotional intelligence. And so the question to ask is, what are you doing to create the states people need to do what you're telling them successfully? And what are you doing to eliminate states that could interfere with that success? So if I'm teaching you to drive and you failed the road test after successfully driving, you say, why did you fail? I got nervous. It was a test. Have you ever gotten nervous on a test? That's an EQ problem. Many of the problems people are having with your products and services are because they're in the wrong state to do what you told them successfully. So that's very important in business. You could use this to create productivity, decrease stress, and empower others for success. Now, we got this one. We'll go to the next one. Memory. People say you read 80 pages a minute. Do you remember anything? Yes, I did a graduate course in educational psychology, which is a 5-month course in 7 hours. I took the AP test, which was 6 hours long and 50 minutes, and got a B+. So I'm going to say, yes, I'm remembering. So can you. I'm going to show you one system for doing that. Here are 10 things to remember. You want to remember, don't write this down. You're going to be able to do this in your head. Pole, shoes, tricycle, car, glove, gun, dice, gate, cat, and bowling pins. So let's see, how do we learn this? Well, the ancient Greeks actually came up with a solution. Take a list you know, link it to a list you're learning, and it takes less time. It's like hangers. What do we do with hangers? We hang clothing on them. Things hanging in memory can be used as hangers for new material. And we're going to use the numbers from 1 to 10, because if you're here today, I feel confident you can count all the way to 10 with no challenge. And we're going to use those 10 numbers to speed learn the list in just a moment's time. The number 1 looks like a pole. So when I say 1, you say pole, and you need to do this. You only remember 10% of what you read. You remember 90% of what you say and do. This isn't a drill, it's a tool. And when we're done, I'll show you how to use this every day in your business. 1, just say pole. You should say it. You won't learn watching. 2 is shoes. You wear 2 shoes. What's 2? Shoes. What was 1? Pole. Excellent. 3 is a tricycle. There's 3 wheels on a tricycle. What's 3? Tricycle. What was 2? Shoes. What was 1? Po, it's getting easier because you're seeing the pattern. 4 is a car. There's 4 tires on a car. What's 4? Car. Go to 2. What was 2? Shoes. What was 1? Pole. What was 3? Tricycle. And we're going out of order because the order is irrelevant. It's the association you're using. 5 is a glove. 5 fingers in a glove. 5 glove. What's 5? What's 3? Tricycle. What's 1? Pole. Excellent. 6 gun. They love guns in Texas. 6 gun. What's 6? Gun. What was 4? 4 tires. Car. 2 shoes. You're almost done. Lucky 7 in dice. Lucky 7 dice. 7 dice. What was 5? There's a clue.
Glove.
3
Tricycle.
tricycle. 1
Pole.
oh, excellent. Rhymes work. Say 8 skate. 8 skate. 8 skate. What's 8? Skate. What was 6? What did they love in Texas?
Guns.
Guns. What was 4? Car. What was 2? Shoes. We're almost done. 9 lives of a cat. 9 lives of a cat. What's 9? Cat. Lucky 7? Dice. 5 glove. 3 tricycle. 1 pole. Last one. 10. 10 bowling pins in a bowling alley. 10 bowling pins. Let's see how well you remember your numbers now. What's 1? Pole. What's 2? Shoes. What's 3? Tricycle. What's 4? Car. What's 5? Glove. What's 6? Texas. Gun. Lucky 7. Dice. 8 rhymes with skate. 9. Cat. What was 10? Bowling pins. And how does it make you feel? Great. Do that when you feel great. You just learned how to speed learn numbers. Let me show you how. You're in a hotel. The room is 314. How many times you forgot the room number as soon as you left the room? You turn the numbers into pictures and make a movie. 3 is a tricycle. 1 is a pole. 4 is a car. The 0 is the 10 bowling pins. Tricycle hits a pole on a car. Picture that. Tricycle hits a pole on a car. Tricycle, what number? 3. Hits a pole, what number? 1. On a car, what number? 4. It's also pi in geometry for measuring a circle. So you could use this in business for percentages and due dates, phone numbers, room numbers, and in science and math and history to memorize important numbers. So now you know how to speed learn numbers by turning them into pictures and stringing them together in a meaningful movie. Here's the question. What are you doing in your business to make it easy to learn what you tell people? Have you ever told someone something important and they didn't remember it, or they told you to do something and you didn't remember it? Instead of just telling people what they need to know, what are you doing to help them remember it? Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is just show you my contact information. Let's see if I can get to it at the very end there. So if you're interested, I do have programs on how to speed learn, how to speed read, how to do speed math. I wrote my last book in 5 hours. It went #1 on Amazon the next day. It's very easy to write a book in a day if you know how. If you don't, it's not that easy. But if you have a system, you can write a book in a day pretty easily. Memory, math. Go to berglearning.com, check it out. Gave you my email. If you need any help with the programs, you can email me and I'll make sure you learn it. And if you'd like to talk to me about maybe doing a program for a company or a group or an organization, I'm more than available. I like helping people. It's something I spend a lot of my time. I was always interested. I look at the news and I think the world's in trouble and it needs more smart people. I don't think anyone looks at the news and says the #1 problem is there's too many smart people making too many good decisions. So I don't think I can fix every problem, but if I help people who can think better, learn more, understand better, and I have another program on how to be a genius and connect the dots. Well, when you do all that in combination, you can see how this can increase your productivity and help solve some of the problems we're all facing. So that's my program. I'll open up to questions if anyone has any.
Well, thank you so much, Howard. That was amazing.